Hello children, welcome back our next class. In this class, we are going to learn about Political Science 4th chapter, Understanding Laws. Before starting the topic, I would like to say about a small summary about this topic. In the previous chapters, you have read about different laws such as at what age a person can vote, the age at which Indian men and women can get married, among others. We know that in a democratic country like India, the parliamentary body is in charge of making different laws. And in this chapter, Understanding Law, you will find out the answers to questions such as, do laws apply to everyone? How do new laws came into being? Could there be laws that are unpopular or controversial? What should we as citizens do under such circumstances? So go through the notes and understand important topics which are discussed in this chapter. Hello children, today we are going to learn about Political Science 4th chapter, Understanding Laws. The first topic is laws in ancient India. In ancient India, there were innumerable and often overlapping local laws. Different communities enjoyed different degrees of autonomy in administrating these laws among their own. The punishment that two persons received for the same crime varied depending on their caste backgrounds, their lower caste being more harshly penalized. The next topic is laws in colonial period. The system of law began to further evolve during the colonial period. It was the British colonialists who introduced the rule of law in India. Historians have disputed this claim on several grounds, two of which are colonial law was arbitrary. This is the first one. The second one is the Indian nationalists played a prominent role in the development of the legal sphere in British India. According to the Sedition Act of 1870, any person protecting or criticizing the British government could be arrested without due trial. The next point is, by the end of the 19th century, Indian legal profession started emerging and demanded respect in the colonial court. The next point is, Indian judges started playing bigger roles in decision making. Next one is, Indians played a major role in the evolution of the rule of law during the colonial period. The next main topic is adoption of Constitution. With the adoption of the Constitution, this document served as the foundation on which our representatives began making laws for the country. The first point is, every year our representatives pass several new laws as well as revise existing ones. Example is, new laws have been enacted to control pollution and provide employment. Next, another example is the Hindu Succession Act 2005. According to this new law, sons, daughters and their mothers can get an equal share of family property. So please note this point, dear children. Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005. The next main topic is laws apply to all. Laws cannot discriminate between persons on the basis of their caste, gender or religion. All laws apply equality to all citizens of the country. First point is, no one can be above the law. Neither a government official nor a wealthy person nor even the president of the country is above the law. Next point is, any crime or violation of law has a specific punishment and there is a process through which the guilt of the person has to be established. The next main topic is making new laws. Parliament has an important role in making laws. An important role of Parliament is to be sensitive to the problems faced by people. Often, different groups in the society raise the need for a particular law. The next point is, from establishing the need for a new law to its being passed, at every stage of the process, the voice of the citizen is a crucial element. So underline this point, the voice of the citizen is a crucial element. The next main topic is, what is domestic violence? Domestic violence refers to the injury or harm or threat of injury or harm caused by an adult male, usually the husband, against his wife. This is called as domestic violence. The next point is, injury may be caused by physically beating up the woman or by emotionally abusing her. The third point is, abuse of the woman can also include verbal, sexual and economic abuse. The next point is, the term domestic include all women who live or have lived together in a shared household with a male member who is perpetrating the violence. The next point is, the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 is a very significant step because they recognize the right of women to live in a shared household. The second point is, women can get a protection order against any further violence. Third point, women can get monetary relief to meet their expenses including medical costs. The next main topic is unpopular and controversial laws. At times, a law can continue to be unpopular and unacceptable to people because they feel that the intention behind it is harm and unfair. Because people can criticize this law, hold public meetings, report to TV news channels, write about it in newspapers, etc. Next point is, when majority of the people feels that a wrong law is passed, then there is pressure on the parliament to change it. Next point is, if a law favors one group and disregards the other, then it can become controversial and lead to conflict. The next point is, people who think that a particular law is not fair can approach the court to decide on the issue. The next point is, the court has the power to cancel or modify laws if it finds that these laws do not adhere to the Constitution. The next point is, what is criticize? Criticize means to find fault with or disapprove of a person or thing. Here it refers to citizen finding fault with the functioning of government. The next topic is, what is evolution? Evolution is the process of development from a simple to a complex form and is often used to discuss the development of a species of plant or animals. Here it refers to the way in which protecting women against domestic violence developed from an urgently felt need to a new law that can be enforced throughout the country. The next main topic is, what is sedition? Sedition applies to anything that the government might consider as stirring up resistance or rebellion against it. In such cases, the government does not need absolute evidence in order to arrest persons. The second point is, under the Sedition Act of 1870, the British had a very broad interpretation of what constituted sedition, and what this meant was that they could arrest and detain any person they wanted under this act. The next point is, the nationalists considered this law arbitrary because persons were arrested for a variety of reasons that were seldom clarified beforehand, as well as because those arrested were often kept in jail without a trial. The next main heading is, what is repressive? Repressive means to control severely in order to prevent free and natural development or expression. It means development or expression. The next point is, here it refers to laws that brutally control persons and often prevent them from exercising their fundamental rights, including right to speech and assembly.
This is Ravi, son of a very rich industrialist. Kishan was driving his bike very rashly in the night and met with an accident, which resulted in the death of a pedestrian. The same day, Ravi too met with an accident while driving his car rashly. In this accident, a child died. Do you think both will get the same punishment? Yes. According to the rule of law established by the Constitution, every person in independent India is equal before the law. The law cannot discriminate between people on the basis of their religion, caste or gender. Neither a government official, nor a wealthy person, nor even the president of the country is above the law. But do you think this law prevailed in India during earlier times? In ancient India, different communities enjoyed different degrees of autonomy in administering these laws among their own. This slowly began to change during the colonial period. It was often believed that it was the British colonists who introduced the rule of law in India. But historians disputed this claim on several grounds. Firstly, the colonial law was arbitrary. Secondly, the Indian nationalists played a prominent role in the development of the legal sphere in British India. Recall the history of colonial period. Can you think of any example of arbitrariness in British law? The Sedition Act of 1870, through which any person protesting or criticizing the British government could be arrested without due trial. Secondly, the Rowlatt Act of 1919, which allowed the British government to imprison people without due trial. Indian nationalists began protesting and criticizing this arbitrary use of authority by the British. By the end of the 19th century, the Indian legal profession also began emerging, and they began to use law to defend the legal rights of Indians. Finally, the Constitution served as the foundation on which our representatives began making laws for the country. Every year, our representatives pass several new laws as well as revise existing ones. Recall the Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, according to which sons, daughters and their mothers can get an equal share of family property. The Parliament has an important role in making laws. Are you aware of Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005? Let us observe how this law evolved. There are many women in our society who are victims of domestic violence in various ways. Throughout the 1990s, the need for a new law against domestic violence was raised in different forums. In 1999, Lawyers Collective, a group of lawyers, law students, and activists, after nationwide consultations, took the lead in drafting the Domestic Violence Prevention and Protection Bill. This draft bill was widely circulated. Finally, the bill was introduced in Parliament in 2002, but it was not able to fulfill people's expectation. Several women's organizations, National Commission for Women, made submissions to the Parliamentary Standing Committee for reconsideration of their demands. In December 2002, the Standing Committee submitted its recommendations to the Rajya Sabha, and these were also tabled in the Lok Sabha. The committee's report accepted most of the demands of the women's groups. Finally, a new bill was reintroduced in the Parliament in 2005. After being passed in both the Houses of Parliament, it was sent to the President for his assent. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act came into effect in 2006. Domestic violence refers to the injury or harm or threat caused by an adult male, usually the husband against his wife. Injury may be caused by physically beating up the woman or by emotionally abusing her. According to the Act, the term domestic includes all women who live or have lived together in a shared household, with the male member who is perpetrating the violence. From establishing the need for a new law to its being passed, at every stage of the process, the voice of the citizen is a crucial element. This can be heard through TV reports, newspaper editorials, radio broadcasts, local meetings, etc. Do you think all the laws enacted are supported by all? Sometimes the Parliament passes laws that turn out to be very unpopular. Can you think of any such example of unpopular law? Various municipal laws on the use of space within municipal limit often make hawking and street vending illegal. No one will dispute on the necessity of some rules to keep the public space open. But we also cannot deny the hawkers and vendors and provide essential services cheaply and efficiently to the millions living in a large city. Moreover, this is the means of livelihood for a large number of people. Hence, if the law favors one group and disregards the other, it will be controversial and can lead to conflict. In a democracy like India, citizens can express their unwillingness to accept repressive laws framed by the Parliament. When a large number of people begin to feel that a wrong law has been passed, then there is pressure on the Parliament to change this.
Dear children, the next is conclusion. It is the extent, involvement and enthusiasm of the people that helps Parliament perform its representative functions properly. So dear children, this chapter is over. So read the textbook thoroughly and prepare the notes.